The employer was very sensitive for their employees, but also for the environment. So I was like, this is it. And the interview went well. And then I got an email like, okay, we had the connection, everything was okay, but not good enough. And then you start doubting yourself.
How many job applications did you fill in, emailed, in 1.5 months?
About 74. And I completely broke down, actually.
Today, I'd like to introduce to you Jelle Sophie. He is a very good friend of mine. He helped me mentally really a lot through my 3 years of challenging times, and it's still sometimes challenging, but I'm really okay. In the very beginning, 30 years of wisdom, the first thing that I started was my Instagram account. And then there is a video that you can see, and it's about resilience. Jelle is between jobs right now. So this is what Jelle wrote in the comments. Thank you for the wise words. I can use them at this moment. I'm in between jobs for 1.5 months, and I seem to miss just every interesting job offer. Or I am too experienced, or too little experienced, or there are always too many candidates in the running. It's always something. It frustrates me very much because I know my worth and my talents and my skills. I'm trying to hang on, but the last 2 rejections that I had on the same day hit me really hard. So I tried to step back a little to lick my wounds and recover. Isn't that a beautiful comment? So I'm gonna put my smartphone down now and I leave the word to you.
So thank you, Jackie. I have to say that post came at exactly the right time I needed it, because I was at my wit's end. You know, I have done about 74 job applications already.
In 1.5 months?
In 1.5 months' time. Because I was like at the beginning when I got fired, and it was an interim contract, so it's immediately you are unemployed. And yeah, I was like, I have to do something, you know, because if you get the unemployment fee, yeah, it's not much. It's about 600 euros difference in a month. So you really feel the pressure of getting a job as soon as possible. Also, I'm not the person who likes to sit still. So I was immediately from day one, I was applicating to all the HR jobs that I could find, from the low profile till the high profile. And then, like I said, the most responses I got were I was too experienced or not experienced enough, or there were already 30 job applicants already, and I was too late. So it was really frustrating to keep positive and go ahead and try a new one and a new one. And right before you posted, I had 2 very good interviews. They felt really good. And I was like, one of these 2 will be my dream job.
Yeah, you told me as well.
Yeah.
And we were like both betting on the one you liked it just a little bit more than the other one. And
yeah, it almost felt like a paradise. You know, the employer was very sensitive for their employees, but also for the environment. So I was like, this is it. And the interview went well. And then I got an email like, okay, we had the connection, everything was okay, but not good enough. And then you start doubting yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said in the post, I know what I'm worth, I know what I'm capable of, and still I couldn't convince them, you know, and I completely broke down, actually. I was like, I give up. I don't know what to do anymore. And it's like being in a maze. After time, the panic starts creeping in, and you're just taking every direction you can, and not even looking anymore on what's the job offer actually. But it's just like, I want a job and I want it now. And I was like, no, this is not the way we're gonna do it, because I was completely panicking, and I sent you the message, and then you said, watch my post. And I watched it, and it actually helped me calm down and taking the decision of, okay, I'm just gonna step back a few days. I went to the Efteling, and it was so nice. It really got me down on my feet again. It earthed me again.
When you're out of your environment that you're in 24/7 almost, it's hard to step back and to say, okay, I need to let go of everything. That's very hard.
Yeah, true. But it's like, it's always there. It's always present. And in Belgium, you have RVA and VDAB, and they're also checking you. And also your unemployment fee goes down after 3 months. So there's really a lot of pressure to be in the time frame you have to get a new job, because otherwise you lose money, and it gets even harder
to find another job, because the longer it takes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it gets harder to pay all the bills as well. And it's like, okay, when the panic creaks in, and it's like the maze I said, any job will do, but that's not the good thing. Because like example, if I want to work in HR and they see that I worked in a supermarket, then it gets harder to get back into HR, because you have to explain why you didn't take a job in HR. So you really have to be very conscious on what you do when applying for a job. And you have to stay focused on your goals, even when the panic starts creaking in, because otherwise it will get harder and harder, and you will never get out of that system.
First, what I want to say is that your reaction of to step out of it and don't look at emails anymore and just let it go for a couple of days was a very good decision. Because sometimes you need to like step back and calm down, breathe.
Absolutely.
You know? On the other hand, it's and that's very important. You always need to trust the process, because it's a process where you're going through. When you don't trust the process anymore, it's something, other people can pick up. When you do a Zoom call, the time that you go on a job interview, it's many times a Zoom before you actually go to the company itself. Like, for instance, if you were like an hour before thinking about it's going to be the same again, it's something that's in your system, and other people are going to pick up, because it's an energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And energy people do feel, whether it's on Zoom or personal, it doesn't matter. So it's very important that you stay positive. And what I also recommend to people who are like you in a situation that you can't control. You don't have any control.
Absolutely, and it's horrible, because I really like being in control of my own career, of my own life.
Of course. The thought hits you, or the feeling, the emotion hits you of insecurity. What you need to do is change room. You read an email, you read a sentence from one of the job offers you get back, and maybe it's like it's hitting a couple of buttons. That ticks off your emotions, and then you start feeling. You need to get up, leave the room, go to another room, go to the bathroom, go to the kitchen, go to the bedroom, whatever. Refuse that thought to enter, to go deep. We all experience it. Me too.
Of course.
I also experience uncertainty and feelings that I think, does this have to happen today?
Yeah, it's like then the inner saboteur comes knocking on the door. You're not good enough. See, I told you, and it's really...
Yeah, it's a gremlin on the shoulder that says, see, I told you.
And then you really have to brush it off. No, I know it's not true. It's just a feeling. I will get over it. And like walking works perfectly for me. Then I'm like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I take my coat or my bag, whatever, and I just leave. And I just go for a walk for a half an hour, and it really helps processing everything.
The thoughts that trigger the emotions.
Yeah, and you get a fresh mind, and you can see the things clearly again, because when the emotion creeps in, you lose actually your sight on reality.
There is something I'd like you to repeat, because I think you can really help people with this. How many job applications did you fill in, emailed, in 1.5 months?
About 74.
74. Yeah. And how many actually got back to you?
Well, there's still a lot open, recent, but I think almost half. I think around 30 were silent. Yeah.
About 30, you didn't get a... And was that recent or over a longer time?
It's for the whole period.
For the whole period.
Yeah.
Because when you got in here, you also said, that a couple of them didn't even answer after a second time you emailed them with a kind reminder.
Yeah, it's really important to show as an applicant that you like the job and that you're really interested. So it's important to do a follow-up. It was silent. It's like hitting a wall of silence.
Yeah.
So you don't know where you're at, and like you said, then you really have no control over the situation, because you absolutely don't know, is somebody hired or not, or what is going on.
Yeah.
And me personally, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
When I was working as a HR coordinator, I also did the recruitment. And I thought it was really important to give feedback. Even if someone isn't hired, even in the first process of reviewing the resume, even then it's important to give feedback. Just because then people know they have closure and they know, okay, I don't have to put any energy anymore in that specific job offer. I can look for something else.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you have to keep the options open, and it takes a lot of energy as well.
Yeah, it does. And I'd like to reflect on that together with you, is that most of the time it's an HR person or someone who is in HR that doesn't email back or doesn't answer back. And what I think is very important, because you say, it makes you crazy. Try and turn that around. I think this is very important, because, that person that is not answering back, it says a lot more about that person than it will ever say about you. And it's very disrespectful.
Absolutely.
In no matter what situation, And of course, it can take a couple of weeks, because when there are a lot of applicants, it's normal that it takes time.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are only so many hours in a day that, that you're working, and there is so much more that an HR is supposed to do. Just view it as being very disrespectful, and this is something you're not.
I try not to be, at least.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're all people, and we all make mistakes and so on. But it's your inner dialogue.
Yeah.
Just adjusting it with a few different words makes the world of difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I say?
I see. Yeah.
Because just now, just to give a little example, just your reaction. I try not to, but there aren't so many people that are really conscious, and there's a difference. Because if you're conscious, you answer, damn. Even when it's one sentence, but you answer.
Even when you forget, because like you
that
said,
happens. Yeah.
I had so many things to do as a HR coordinator. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I forgot. And then I apologize and answer the email with a bit of delay. But yeah, it's like, treat others like you want to be treated yourself. And if you make a mistake, it can happen.
Of course.
Apologize, acknowledge that you made a mistake, and put the wrong right.
Yeah, put the wrong right. Yeah. Very well said. I love it.
What I see is there's a lot of fear in the job market at the moment.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
there is.
and everyone is I think people are conscious, but sometimes they focus on the wrong thing. We need to get, like I say, I need a job. They say, we need to get the job filled in as soon as possible. And they're racing, and that's why they probably forget a lot of the applicants because they're so focused on the candidates which go to round 2 or round 3, because they're so focused. We need to get that job filled in as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Also, like you said, I need to step out a bit and take my time. They need it as well. There is also so much fear to get the right hire that they like to stay to what they know. And that's why a lot of talent gets lost in the job market, because they always stick to the same thing, even though it didn't work, but that's the thing they know. It feels comfortable. So we stick with the same profile. Or like I read a few months ago, and it was quite interesting. It's something to think about. A lot of hiring managers seek almost the exact copy of themselves.
Oh, but that's normal.
Yeah, and that's like, and that's like, okay, that's really nice because it's also comfortable. But is that what the team needs? Because like, if you look at the DISC method, they always say you need to have a team with a lot of different personalities, because they can fill in the gaps of the other one, and that's the way to get the team being more productive and to get the company to a higher level.
What an insight.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah.
And I also think that that's very valuable, for the viewer, or maybe you're listening to the podcast. I think this is very valuable, because I think it's totally true what you're saying. Yeah.
Thank you.
In the team, you need, you need the multiple personalities to fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely true.
Hey.
But it's also normal that, and again, I have to come back to that. It's a lack of consciousness. When you live consciously, these are things you know. It's like a sort of trap that you need to avoid to step into.
Yeah, and that's the challenge of HR, I think, because you don't have to see what do I think they need. You have to see what do we need.
Yeah, what does the team?
Who do we need? Do we need an extra detail-minded person, or do we need an extroverted person who can charm other people and make the team work better because there's a joke here and there? Or do we need the strong leader who can cut the cord immediately and go after all the goals?
Or the introverted who manages everything.
Yeah. What do we need is the most important question. And also when you're working with the hiring managers, it's really important to ask those questions. Who do you need? Are you sure? What talent do you already have? A talent assessment is so important, because you can only start hiring if you know what talent is already available and where are the gaps we need to fill in. The thing I really would like to add is make connections. I have 2 examples. So we made a connection in 2018.
Yeah.
We were doing the social media marketing.
Yeah.
And we had a click. And even though I stopped working as a recruiter there, you helped me with your connections to my next job. Mm-hmm. It was my job as HR coordinator. And even then after, you helped me through so many things. You introduced me to other people who could help me or that I could help. And just a few days ago, I got a message from Redouan. It's a person who applied for a internship with the company where I was the HR coordinator. And I couldn't give him the internship because we only had one place and it was already filled in. But I helped him looking for another one because I had connections. And a few days ago, he sent me a message on LinkedIn. Are you still looking for a job? And I said, yes. Well, my company is looking for a payroll officer. Can I introduce you? And I was like, oh, that would be great. So he wrote a recommendation for me. I was in tears almost. It was so sweet because he sent it to me to read first. And I was like, wow. And then I sent him my resume and I got an email from the company. We received everything. We'll come back to you soon. But just the offer of and thinking about me, even though I couldn't give him the internship, but it's like, wow, I made an impact in his life in one way or another, and it's coming back to me. It really filled my heart with joy, and it helped me through the dark period I was going through, just like your post did. It, you get your trust back in humanity. It was really heartwarming.
Yeah.
I can't describe it actually. How I felt at that moment.
That's really awesome. That's really great. It's thank you for sharing, because this is good. And it's also, when you send out the positive vibes, and like you said, when you step out a couple of hours, a day or 2 days out of the emotion that's pulling you down, things always come back. No matter how you turn it, things always. But you need to believe and hang on to that hope. And of course, you have to do a lot more than just hoping. Doing 75 applicants in a 1.5 month is really a lot, but it's taking action. Because if you're not taking action, nothing's gonna happen.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Prepare, very important. If you go to a job interview, prepare. Know the company, know the persons you're talking with, do your research. It's really important. Even if you don't get the job, you never know what's going to happen in a few months, years. You never know. So do your research and make sure in any way possible you leave a positive impact.
LinkedIn. Whether you're an employee, you're self-employed, or you're an entrepreneur, I think it's very important to connect with people on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is so different from all the other social media platforms. And that's the place where you can really connect with people on a deeper level. I think that LinkedIn is a tool that not enough people use.
True.
And I recommend people to go there a lot more often. Go to the posts that you resonate with, and especially go to the groups and find the groups, because there are HR groups as well in LinkedIn. So I think it's very important to connect with the people in those HR groups. Because when you connect to, you meet more people, and you have the possibility to send your application.
That's a very good tip, actually, because I'm active on LinkedIn. My mailbox gets spammed with job opportunities from LinkedIn. So Indeed and LinkedIn are my favorite tools, because you can put in what you like in a job and they send you emails. Also, LinkedIn is so easy to connect. Like Redouan and myself were connected, and it's through LinkedIn that he sent me those messages. It really helps to connect, even though you're miles away from each other, or you just talk to each other every 6 months. I also follow a lot of posts, because a lot of the wisdom I gained comes from LinkedIn, comes from the articles on LinkedIn. And it's something I can use, and most importantly, I can spread. Because knowledge you gain, you need to spread as well. You need. It's a gift for everyone.
100.
The only thing I didn't do was specifically looking for those groups, and that's a really good tip you gave me.
Yeah, they're really groups.
So every day I learn something new. And I learn a lot from Jackie, actually.
Actually, I can see you tomorrow going on the computer. She said groups, living.
Of course, when you learn something new, just go with it. Just throw yourself at it. And sometimes you miss, but sometimes it's jackpot.
Yeah.
And,
it's
and, and,
bullseye.
and like my mom said, you only need one.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So sometimes it takes more than 74 applications, but you only need one. And it's like when I stepped out of everything, and like Redouan sent me that message, you gave me that post when my vibes were more positive again. I have 2 job offers next week, so I'm back on track.
Yay!
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I think that this time at the place you were working, you did 6 months, right? Actually,
9 months actually.
Ah,
Yeah,
9 months. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was 6 months. And throughout that time, every time we saw each other or we talked, I always felt it's not a fit. You know,
No.
the company that you were working for, you weren't really happy. It wasn't.
No, I liked my colleagues, but it was a feeling like everyone was walking on eggshells all the time. And I wasn't in the position to do something about it as well. So even though I felt devastated because I had to do all the searching again,
Yeah.
I was also quite happy that it was over, because I couldn't see myself there for 5 years, for 10 years.
Yeah, no.
And I'm still going for the long run.
Yeah.
I want to be part of the furniture. I want to know all the ins and outs, because then
Yeah.
you can actually contribute to the growth of the company, because you need to know all the ins and outs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Completely, 100. Yeah.
I don't need to be the front runner,
No.
but I want to be the silent force behind everything,
Yeah.
and making sure that everything is going in the right direction, that everybody feels happy, because happy employees makes a company grow. Everybody is going to their job with a smile almost every day.
And that's the most important thing, because actually you spend a lot more hours on the job
Absolutely.
than you do at home with your
Yeah,
family and
yeah,
your kids.
yeah.
So I think it's a very important issue.
It needs to feel like a hobby.
Yeah. And actually, Jelle, you are an entrepreneur.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, I told you
I
that.
never heard that word in my life.
Yeah. You are the kind of person that put your shoulders under a company and help them grow.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur or being an entrepreneur, it's different, because you don't want to be in the spotlight. You just want to be behind the one that wants to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Or
Force behind the throne. Let's that I feel comfortable in the shadow. Yeah.
okay, I love this conversation, really, from A to Z. I really want to emphasize that this conversation you did actually flawless.
Thank you.
Actually, yeah, you inspired a lot of people out there.
I hope so. It's
I'm positive. Where can they find you? I'll put your links in the description in the podcast.
So people can find me on Instagram and Facebook on my Spiritist Jelle channel, because as Spiritist Jelle, I do almost weekly card readings to inspire people and to give them a completely different insight on life.
Can I give you another tip before we close this?
Of course.
From now on, try to do it in English.
Okay, I will do my best. No, it was a difficult choice.
Well, at
Becky
least-
is always right.
No, that's not true.
Almost always right.
No. Oh my God. No, I definitely don't have all the answers. Absolutely not. But as of course, I follow you, and you're still, in the beginning of
Yeah,
this.
I'm still looking and searching.
And that's more than okay. But when I see what you're doing right now, I think, come on, Jelle, do this in English. Most Dutch-speaking people read English and speak English.
Yeah.
But it's not the other way around.
True.
Yeah, and okay, you can hit the button, translate, but who does that? I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to do something with it, because I think it has value for other people as well, to see the world from a different angle.
Okay, super. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, before we wrap up, I have some really very amazing news to share. This conversation was recorded a few weeks ago, and exactly 3 weeks after the recording, he landed and got accepted for his dream job. Jelle's story shows the power of resilience and the community support in uncertain times. But there's another wave of change coming our way, and we need to prepare for that one. In our next episode, we're diving deep into artificial intelligence, how it's going to transform our work, lives, and most importantly, how we can prepare ourselves. But it's not only about us. As parents, we have a responsibility to prepare our children for a world that looks so completely different from the ones that we grew up in. If you're a parent, a professional, or simply someone that really wants to stay ahead of the curve, you cannot miss this episode. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. When it airs, you're the first one to know. Hey, and remember, we're building something very special here, a community of people sharing real wisdom for real challenges. Connect with both of us, me and Jelle, on our socials. We'll put the links in the description below. And if this conversation resonates with you, or you have your own job search story to share, drop it in the comment below. We read every single one of them. So your story just might inspire someone else who's going through the same struggle. Join us on this journey.